Hey, Bill Vasey here with ECE. Thanks for launching this video on MTOWorx. This one's all about producing load sheets from AutoCAD Plant 3D. From within the AutoCAD Plant 3D environment, we can launch the MTOWorx palette. MTOWorx is notorious for its capabilities in and around creating detailed material takeoff views. But one of the other features of it is the compare function, and this compare function now has load sheets baked into it. So as always with MTOWorx, it loads the current components from the 3D model that's active. This could be external reference as well. But this is where we would traditionally create a snapshot, but not today. Today we're going to use the new bypass feature. By clicking bypass, it takes us right to results. And as always, these results can be filtered. Here I see I have a few missing part numbers and a part number I don't recognize, so I'm going to go ahead and eliminate those from this load sheet. All right, once adjusted, really one final step here, and that's to address the unit of measure. We've always had the ability to adjust the unit of measure. Recently added was flipping over to metric. Previously we just addressed imperial units, but now metric units can be had. All right, it's time to generate a load sheet. Once where we just had go to Excel worksheet, we now have the ability to go to a load sheet. And why do we call it a load sheet? We call it a load sheet because there is extended data beyond just the material takeoff from Plant 3D. So after picking a load sheet file location, the user is immediately presented a form that they must complete. This form is completely customizable to include all the fields that are required to satisfy ERP and MRP business system load sheets. So once we click export, the Excel workbook will launch that represents the load sheet. This load sheet is based upon a style or a template. And within this template, we have columns. The first column here, this is an AutoNum. This is a new custom load sheet field type, AutoNum. Column B through column G are the CAD values that came right from the 3D model. But then we have H and I. These are the fields that we populated in the form before producing the load sheet. Another very purposeful field is unit price. We can extract unit price from SocketWorks materials and then do things like total up all the pricing for all the components within the load sheet. So what do you think? This load sheet's pretty flexible, isn't it? Now let's take a step back and see how we get this set up. I'm going to browse to the Options tab and click on the Loadsheet Settings button. This will bring up the dialog box where all the settings are to configure the load sheet. These settings are broken down into sections. Section 1 is where users select for multiple styles or load sheet templates. Next is where you configure where within a workbook the load sheet gets created. Next is SocketWorks. This is if you want to connect to SocketWorks. And here is where the core of the setup and configuration takes place. Users will add fields and position the fields within the workbook. As of today, MTOWorx offers 3 types of fields. Lookup fields from SocketWorks, list fields from SocketWorks, and list fields that are local to MTOWorx. Regardless of what fields are selected, they can be positioned within the workbook to satisfy any business system load sheet requirements. Well, that was a deep dive into the setup and configuration of load sheets, but hopefully you got a good sense of all its capabilities. That's going to bring us to the end of this video, and I just want to say thank you for watching. Please contact us if you have any questions.